pyruvate metabolism. What happens to pyruvate metabolisms? So pyruvate metabolism is the process by which we convert pyruvate to acetyl-CoA in the presence of oxygen or some other process. So we discussed four process after glycolysis. Pyruvate is converted to acetyl-CoA if oxygen is available, lactate if there is no availability of oxygen, alanine if our body requires amino acids, a monomer of amino acid, and oxaloacetate depending on what our body needs. So there is an enzyme that converts pyruvate to acetyl-CoA. Pyruvate to acetyl-CoA in the presence of oxygen. So this enzyme is known as pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. When you write your pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. So an enzyme known as pyruvate dehydrogenase complex converts what? Pyruvate to acetyl-CoA in the presence of oxygen. So how is this happening? First, we have to activate this enzyme. So to activate this enzyme, what happens if you want to activate this enzyme? So the activation of this enzyme is done by calcium ion and by another enzyme known as pyruvate dehydrogenase phosphatase. Pyruvate dehydrogenase phosphatase. If I split this thing in MCQ, remember all these things is you have to try to learn all these things. Okay? It's because of it's your first time. So let's go again. Calcium ions stimulate the formation of it activates pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. So what is pyruvate dehydrogenase complex doing? Pyruvate dehydrogenase complex help to convert pyruvate or stimulate the process by which pyruvate is converted to acetyl-CoA in the presence of oxygen. So which enzyme stimulate that? Pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. And pyruvate dehydrogenase phosphatase activates pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. So pyruvate dehydrogenase complex is inactivated whenever ATP molecule is high, and it's activated whenever ATP molecule is low. By what? Calcium ion. So what do this pyruvate dehydrogenase phosphatase do? So the pyruvate dehydrogenase phosphatase do is to remove the phosphate group. So anytime you hear phosphatase, we are removing phosphate group. The main function of that enzyme is to remove phosphate group. So you also have glucose phosphatase in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So what is it doing? Is removing the phosphate group from the glucose phosphate in order to form glucose whenever hypoglycemia occurred in the blood. So phosphatase remove phosphates. So pyruvate dehydrogenase phosphatase helps to activate pyruvate dehydrogenase complex by what? Removing phosphates, and calcium ion also stimulate this process. And when immediately we activate this pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, it will now convert pyruvate to what? To acetyl-CoA. So another enzyme helps to inactivate this pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Whenever we have high ATP molecule, our body say, hey, we don't need this ATP molecule again. They are too much. So enzyme or substrates known as acetyl-CoA, NADH, and ATP will come and inactivate this enzyme. Now look at them. Acetyl-CoA, NADH, and ATP, they will come and what? Inactivate this enzyme. Now let me explain something for you. I want to give you something you have to memorize or something you have to master. Whenever ATP molecule is high, ADP is what? Is low. So they are inversely proportional to each other. Whenever NADH is high, NAD positive is what? Is low. So these two are directly proportional to each other, and these two are directly proportional to each other. I'll explain that. When we have high ATP molecule in your body, that means you have low ADP, which is adenosine diphosphate and adenosine triphosphate. So whenever ATP molecule is high, ADP molecule is low, because ATP simplifies high energy level in your body, while ADP simplifies low energy in your body. So you cannot have high energy in your body and also have low energy in your body. So whenever there is too much ATP, it signifies that the energy in our body is high. And whenever ADP molecule is low, it signifies that the energy in our body is low. For this reason, our body cannot be high and low at the same time. It's either our body is high or our body have low energy. So this is not applicable. Whenever high energy is in our body, what happens? There is high NADH. Because this NADH will now go into the electron transport chain to produce more energy. The NADH produce more energy. So whenever ATP molecule is high, that is, there is high NADH molecule. And whenever ADP molecule is low, there is what? Low NAD positive. And when NAD is high, ADP is high, and ATP is low, and NADH is also low. Remember, these NAD positive serves, they are like public transporters. They serve as they perform the same function as aeroplane to carry a passenger or a traveler from one country to another, or from one point to another. And when they deposit them, they now return back to their original form. So when they carry them, they now carry electrons and hydrogen in our body. And when they go to the matrix of the mitochondria, they will not deposit them. Remember, matrix of the mitochondria is the space in the membrane of the mitochondria. Don't forget that. Space, that's what's called matrix. So NAD positive is now what? NADH that have this passenger and traveler. So NAD positive take electrons and hydrogen, and they will now go to electron transport chain to deposit them and what? And return back to their original form. So you understand this better in our future lectures when we start discussing the electron transport chain. But for now, what you have to have in mind is whenever there is high ATP molecule, there is low ADP molecule. And whenever there is high NADH, there is what? Low NAD positive. So they are inversely proportional to each other. But ATP and NADH, they are directly proportional to each other. Whenever there is high ATP, it signifies there is high NADH. And whenever there is high NADH, it signifies there is high ATP. And whenever there is high ADP, it signifies that there is low ATP and there is high NAD positive. And whenever NAD positive is low, it signifies that ADP is also low and NADH is high and ATP is what's high. Don't forget this formula.